Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great Friday. Anyway, today is a super exciting day because I finally got my hands on the brand new Sony Xperia 1 Mark 6. Alright, so today's video, just to give you a very quick heads up, this is not a full review. In fact, this is just going to be my first impressions. I don't really want to deep dive into all the tech specs and all that, but I'm just going to give you what I first think about the phone when I remove it from the box. So that's going to be pretty much it. Alright, so I know some of you might actually be confused with the naming of the Xperia phones. Okay, so basically there's 3 tiers, if I'm not mistaken. We have the Xperia 1, the Xperia 5, and the Xperia 10. Alright, so the 1 is obviously the flagship, which is what I have here. The 5 is sort of like the mid-range, and the 10 is sort of a more compact device. So the branding at the back there, Mark 6, basically refers to generation 6 of this particular model. So this is their latest flagship, and just managed to get my hands on one. They are actually giving away the Sony XM5s, by the way, if you go and buy one, so it's pretty interesting. But what you get in the box is practically the phone itself and nothing else. You do get 2 pieces of paperwork, which I didn't even read it, but the phone itself, and that's it. So it's good that Sony is actually giving away the XM5s because at least you do get some kind of accessory, which is actually pretty sick. Alright, so on to the phone, guys. When I first removed this from the box, I was super excited, because naturally I'm using a lot of Sony gear. The camera, the lens, everything I use is actually Sony, so extremely excited to see this. The color that I chose was actually the khaki green, and the green is actually a very subtle kind of green. You don't really see the amount of green on the phone itself. In fact, you barely even see the green. It's a very, very light tint of green, and it's pretty much, I would say, maybe closer to a grey, dark grey. So it's actually very minor, and I do like the color very much. I think I made the right choice because, the black, I had a black on my previous Xperia 10, so I wanted a bit of a change, and that's what you get here. Alright, so another thing that I noticed about the phone right off the bat is, of course, the display itself. This time around, they're not going for the super long, sort of like remote control kind of display, but right now it's a more conventional aspect ratio, so it feels so much natural to use the phone. You don't feel like the notification center is too high to just drag down, so one-handed use is much better on the Xperia 1 Mark 6. The display is of course still fantastic, although we do not have the 4K anymore, but personally I still think this is a fantastic display. Obviously it's got some Bravia tech, which is related to their TV lineup, so very, very good display here, even though it's not 4K. Alright, another cool thing that I really like here is actually in terms of the cameras. Now, naturally we do have a triple lens setup at the back. We still have that Zeiss T-Star coating, that means reduced glare and all that. So it's a very premium kind of optics or lens that we have on here. The main sensor as well as the ultra wide, if I'm not mistaken, is the same as last gen, but what has changed here is primarily in terms of the telephoto lens. So I went out and took a couple of shots, and whew, I must tell you guys, the photos coming off of this is super clean. Like, it's just the way the phone processes the image. It looks very similar to my Sony camera actually, and I do like the fact that we do have the creative look, which I did mention on the Xperia 5 as well. It's also in here, so you can have those really nice colors without actually editing the photo. So obviously here's a very few quick shots. Like I said, this is not a full review. I barely have this phone for a day, but the pictures coming off of it looks very promising, and I'm just so excited to take this out and really test it further. In fact, I might have a trip coming up, so I'll probably bring this along and take a couple more snaps along the way just to see how it goes. One more thing I did notice on the last gen of the Xperia 1 was that the camera was a bit slow and sluggish. This time around, we do have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, the latest one, and I noticed that the camera was a bit quicker. I still notice a bit of slowness when it's adapting to its exposure. So, I guess that's what we have to see in the Xperia phones, but otherwise the performance bump is definitely very much appreciated here because you still can feel an improvement compared to its predecessor. Oh, one final thing, it's also worth mentioning that the software in here is still as clean as before, so it's like zero bloatware. Again, I'm just appreciating this, like it's so smooth and so fast, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much my first impressions of the Xperia 1 Mark 6. Again, very, very excited for this simply because I didn't read or watch any review of this phone. I wanted to just experience it on my own, and these are all my honest thoughts with you guys. Alright, let me know what you guys want me to check out. Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you for always following me, with all my new toys to play with. Appreciate you guys here, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Do take care, stay safe, bye bye.